Stop. Don't scroll. Not this time. Because if you leave right now, you'll never know how close you were to something that could change everything. Your body, your timeline, your entire sense of what you are capable of becoming. Listen carefully. You don't need hours. You don't need days. You don't even need belief yet. You just need 33 seconds of presence. 33 seconds where you stop performing and start receiving. That's it. That's all this requires of you right now. And you already feel it, don't you? That subtle pull in the center of your chest. That slight pressure that arrived the moment you pressed play. Not anxiety, not excitement. Something older than both of those things. Something that has been waiting with extraordinary patience for exactly this moment to arrive. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear is not something you were meant to encounter by accident. This is not coincidence. This is not casual. This is a very precise moment that was written into the architecture of your path long before your mind could name it. The algorithms do not understand why they sent this to you. The trending charts cannot explain why your finger stopped here. But some part of you, the deepest part, the part that runs beneath language and logic and the noise of your ordinary day, that part of you has been moving toward this exact moment for longer than you realize. You are not scrolling. You are arriving. Feel your breath right now. Feel how it has already begun to slow, almost without your permission, almost as if your body recognized something your mind is still deciding about. That is not nothing. That is the beginning of a signal being received. Stay with this. Before we go any further, do this with intention, tap-like, because you are anchoring this moment into your timeline, not as a gesture, not as a reflex, but as a declaration that something real happened here. Subscribe, because this is not the last time you will feel this particular kind of shift, and you don't want to miss what comes next. And in the comments, write this now. Write these words. Exactly. I am untouchable now. Not later. Not when the video ends. Now. Because the moment you write it, you are no longer observing. You are participating. And participation is where transformation begins. This is not a ritual for everyone. It is a signal. Your signal. A declaration to the field that you are ready to receive what has always been yours. Write it now. Then come back, because what follows is something most people will watch and never fully claim. You are not most people. You have been told that becoming untouchable is arrogance. You have been told that wanting to rise above the ordinary circumstances of your life is somehow dangerous or delusional, or the territory of people who haven't yet learned humility. You have been told in 1,000 quiet ways, through disappointment, through relationships that didn't hold, through systems that seemed to punish you for dreaming, that your ceiling was already decided, that you arrived here with a fixed amount of access to good, to power, to peace, to abundance. And somewhere along the way, without even realizing it was happening, you started to believe them. Not fully. There was always a part of you that resisted. Always a thread of something that refused to completely accept the story they were narrating about you. You noticed it most in the quiet moments, late at night or early in the morning before the world started making its demands. In those gaps between thought and sleep, between sleep and waking, you felt something that didn't match the version of yourself you'd been presenting to the world. Something larger. Something that didn't fit neatly inside the identity you'd been handed. And here's the truth most people aren't ready to hear. That feeling was not imagination. That feeling was not arrogance. That feeling was not a symptom of delusion or immaturity. That feeling was recognition. You were sensing the existence of a version of yourself that has already moved beyond every limitation you are currently navigating. And the gap between who you've been told you are and what you actually feel in those quiet moments, that gap is not failure. That gap is the space where activation lives. You are not broken. You are between frequencies. You have been functioning at a vibrational frequency that matches the story you inherited, and not the story you wrote. This is the central fact of what is happening in your life right now. Not bad luck, not wrong timing, not the wrong body, the wrong family, the wrong city, the wrong set of circumstances. A frequency inherited without your conscious permission. And here's the truth most people aren't ready to hear. You cannot fix a frequency problem with logic. You cannot think your way out of a vibrational state. The mind will keep generating evidence to match whatever frequency it's running on, which is why the same patterns keep appearing dressed in new faces, new situations, new years. Same architecture underneath. What you are here to understand tonight right now in these 33 seconds that are already becoming something else entirely, is that being untouchable is not a personality trait. It is not privilege. It is not luck dressed up in confidence. Being untouchable is a biological state. It is a sovereign code, a specific configuration of identity, nervous system, cellular memory, and vibrational output that tells the quantum field around you, I no longer accept the signal I was broadcasting. I am transmitting something new. Stay with me. Feel your chest right now. There is a soft warmth beginning to move through the center of it, a quiet heat that wasn't there when you pressed play. That is not imagination. That is your nervous system beginning to recognize the frequency this transmission carries. Your body is not waiting for your mind's permission. It has already begun to shift. This is not inspiration. This is activation. Here's what most people never realize about the concept of being untouchable. They mistake it for invulnerability, for emotional distance, for the kind of hardness that comes from being hurt so many times that you simply stop feeling. That is not what this is. That is armor. And armor is heavy. Armor slows you down. Armor signals to the field around you that you are still in survival mode, still bracing for impact, still expecting attack. And the field, consciousness itself, the living quantum structure of reality that is always reading you, responds to armor by generating the circumstances you are armoring against. This is not metaphor. This is the observer effect, operating in real time, in the actual architecture of your lived experience. You are not separate from what you observe. You are generating it. And what you have been generating unconsciously, from the vibrational posture of someone who is braced and defended and slightly holding their breath against the next disappointment, what you have been generating is more reason to brace, more reason to defend, more evidence that your armor was necessary. But untouchable, truly untouchable, is something completely different. It is not the absence of feeling. It is the presence of such profound alignment with your own sovereign code that what once destabilized you simply cannot find purchase. It slides off, not because you have become hard, but because you have become whole. Not because you no longer feel things, but because what you feel is so rooted in frequency, in identity, in the biological authority of someone who has genuinely recalibrated, that temporary chaos cannot reorganize you. You remain, you persist, you transmit, breathe, slowly, fully, and notice that your breath is already deeper than it was a few minutes ago. This is what your nervous system does when it encounters its own truth. It exhales. It releases the shallow holding pattern of someone running on survival mode and begins to breathe the way a being breathes who has remembered what they actually are. And here's what most people never realize. Survival mode is not a response to danger. Survival mode is a frequency, a default setting that the body adopts when it has been told repeatedly by its environment, by its past, by the cellular memory of every moment it learned to brace, that safety is not guaranteed, that abundance is temporary, that belonging must be earned, that love comes with conditions, that your worth is something you have to keep proving. Survival mode is what happens when a sovereign being begins to live inside an inherited story. And here's the first major reframe you need to carry with you past this moment. You are not searching for safety. Safety already exists at the frequency you were built to inhabit. What you have been doing is searching inside the frequency of fear for a feeling that only exists outside it. You cannot find calm inside urgency. You cannot find abundance inside scarcity. The frequency determines the evidence, always. Now stay with me, because this is where it becomes exact. There is a version of you that already exists beyond this, not in some distant future, not in a parallel fantasy that requires years of work to reach, but now, in this moment, running in parallel to every thought you are having, every breath you are taking, every story you are still carrying. That version of you did not achieve untouchability. That version of you remembered it. The distance between who you have been presenting to the world and that version is not measured in time. It is not measured in accomplishments or external validation or the accumulation of evidence that you are worthy of the life you want. It is measured in awareness, in frequency, in the willingness to feel, fully, without flinching, what it is like to already be that person. Your body cannot tell the difference between a vividly inhabited experience and one that is physically happening in front of you. This is not spiritual theory. This is the mechanics of how your nervous system, your cellular memory, and the quantum field around you actually operate. What you hold in your body with enough consistency, enough sensory specificity, enough emotional reality, that is what the field around you begins to organize in your direction. Not because you wished hard enough, because you shifted the signal you were broadcasting, because you changed the evidence your body was transmitting to the architecture of reality. So right now, stay with this. I want you to feel something, not imagine it. Feel it. Feel what it would feel like in your chest, in your shoulders, in the way you carry your jaw and your breath, and the weight of your eyes. If you were already untouchable, if the thing that has been destabilizing you for years simply had no more power to reach you. Feel what your body does when it genuinely believes it is safe, when it genuinely believes it is sovereign. When the cellular memory of every wound is not erased, but integrated, metabolized, transformed into the very authority that makes you impossible to diminish. Feel your spine right now. Feel a quiet vibration in the center of your back, a subtle hum, as if something is reorganizing along your vertebrae. That is not your imagination. That is the beginning of recalibration. That is your biology beginning to rehearse the version of yourself you are merging with right now. Because this is not about becoming someone new. This is not about constructing a persona, building a character, performing a version of strength you don't actually feel. This is about merging. You are not becoming untouchable. You are remembering that you already are. The version of you that exists in the parallel timeline. The one where none of the circumstances that have diminished you have any ongoing authority. That version didn't acquire something you're missing. That version simply stopped accepting a signal that was never theirs to carry. You are not your inherited story. You are the awareness behind it. You are not the wound. You are the consciousness that has been watching the wound and choosing every single day without even knowing it was a choice, whether to identify with the pain or identify with the perceiver. And here is the identity level shift that changes everything, the one that most people sit right on the edge of and then step back from, because it requires something more than belief. It requires embodiment. You are not the one things happen to. You are the field in which things arise and dissolve. You are not subject to circumstances. You are the sovereign point of consciousness, around which circumstances are always orienting themselves. This is not philosophy. This is the soul contract you came here to remember. Stay with me. The mechanism behind being untouchable is not mystical in the way most people expect. It is not a sudden transformation that descends from somewhere above you. It is a biological recalibration that happens in the gap, in the space between stimulus and response, between the thing that used to trigger you and the version of you that no longer follows that signal. That gap is where your sovereign code lives. And every time you pause in that gap instead of immediately reacting, every time you choose the frequency of who you are becoming over the reflex of who you were, you are not just making a different decision. You are rewiring the literal architecture of your nervous system. Your nervous system is not a fixed structure. It is a living, responsive, extraordinarily precise instrument that is always updating itself based on the dominant signal it receives. And for most people, the dominant signal is survival. The low-level hum of not enough, of brace yourself, of scarcity dressed up in productivity and ambition, and the compulsive need to control outcomes, because deep in the cellular memory there lives the belief that if you ever stop pushing, everything will fall apart. That signal is exhausting. That signal ages you. That signal keeps your biology locked in a frequency where creation mode is inaccessible, and the most you can do is manage. Breathe. Slowly. Fully. And let me tell you what happens in creation mode. Not as a concept. As a biological reality that is already available to you, right now, in this body, at this age, in this exact version of your circumstances. In creation mode, your nervous system stops spending its resources on managing threats and begins spending them on generating possibility. Your cellular memory begins updating, not by forgetting what happened, but by reclassifying it. Not as damage that defines you, but as data that informed you. Not as evidence of your limitations, but as the precise curriculum through which your sovereign code was being revealed. And here's the truth most people aren't ready to hear. Every moment of difficulty in your life was not a failure of your frequency. Every moment of difficulty was a vibrational gateway, a threshold through which only the most precise version of you could pass. The ones who broke, the ones who left. The circumstances that felt like they were trying to destroy you. They were not punishments. They were initiations. They were the quantum field, in its extraordinary intelligence, presenting you with exactly the resistance needed to discover that you could not be broken, that even when you bent, and you bent, you did not break. And now you are here, in front of this transmission, at this specific moment in your timeline, because something in you is finally ready to claim what those initiations were always pointing toward. You are not the one who survived your life. You are the one your life was designed to reveal. Right now, something is shifting in the way you understand your own authority. Feel it. There is a subtle pressure across your temples, a slight heaviness behind the eyes, not fatigue, clarity. The kind of clarity that arrives when the nervous system finally stops performing vigilance and begins to simply know. That is the threshold. You are standing at it. Here is the reframe that will stay with you longer than anything else in this transmission. Control is not alignment. Every time you have exhausted yourself trying to control outcomes, trying to manage perceptions, trying to construct the perfect sequence of events that will finally make everything feel safe, every one of those moments was not discipline. It was fear wearing the mask of competence. True alignment is not control. True alignment is coherence. It is the state in which your frequency is so consistent, so genuinely calibrated to who you actually are at the identity level, that the right things find you without the exhausting architecture of effort and vigilance. Untouchable people are not people who work harder. They are people who have stopped leaking energy into the frequency of their own doubt. And now, stay with me. Now we arrive at the part of this transmission that asks something of you. Not a task, not a performance, a choice. Two paths, both visible from where you are standing right now, and only one of them leads to what you felt in those quiet morning moments when you knew you were more than what you were being. The first path is familiar. It is the path of returning to the same conversations, the same patterns, the same version of yourself that the people around you recognize and feel comfortable with. The path of nodding at this and then allowing the noise of ordinary life to absorb it, the way so many other moments of potential clarity have been absorbed. That path is not wrong, but you should know that you can't unsee this. You cannot hear what you have heard in this transmission and go back to genuinely believing the story that was keeping you small. You can pretend, you can defer, but you cannot unknow the sensation you felt in your chest when something in this recognized you. The second path is the one that begins right here, right now, in this body, in this breath, with the decision, not the declaration, not the affirmation, not the performance, the actual quiet, cellular decision that you are no longer available at the frequency of your inherited limitations, that you are merging right now with the version of yourself that exists beyond every false ceiling you were handed, that the 33 seconds you gave to this moment are becoming something that compounds in your biology, in your timeline, in the field around you, every single time you return to this signal. This is not motivation. This is activation. Breathe. Slowly, fully. Let your eyes rest. Let your shoulders drop without forcing them. Let your jaw unclench. Let your body do what it has been wanting to do for longer than this video, for longer than this year, for longer than the accumulated weight of every experience that told you to brace. Let it release. Right now, something is shifting in a way that does not require your belief to be true. Your nervous system is already reorganizing. Your cellular memory is already beginning the process of reclassifying who you are. The quantum field around you is already reading the new signal. Because you did something most people will never do. You stayed. You stayed with this transmission when every distracted impulse said to scroll, to check, to defer. And staying is a signal. Staying is the sovereign code activating. Staying is how you begin to become the person that circumstances cannot reach. You are not fragile. You were never fragile. You were running a frequency that made you available to things that could not serve you, and you did that not because you were broken, but because you had not yet remembered that the frequency was a choice, that you had biological authority over the signal you were broadcasting, that your identity was not fixed by what happened to you. It was waiting to be claimed by who you decided to be in the aftermath. You are not your past. You are not your reactions. You are not the version of yourself that others have grown comfortable defining. You are the awareness that has been watching all of it. And awareness, genuine, sovereign, rooted awareness, is untouchable. There is a chill moving slowly down your spine right now if you are paying attention. A quiet aliveness along your skin, like the air changed without changing. That is the integration phase. That is what it feels like in the body. when a transmission has moved past the mind and into the cellular architecture, where it actually matters. You cannot undo this. You can choose not to act on it. You can choose the familiar over the frequency. But the body has already recorded what it felt like to remember, and the body keeps records that the mind cannot override. This is the moment of ownership, not ownership of a concept, ownership of a self, the acknowledgement, quiet, private, requiring no witness except the part of you that has always known, that you are not here to remain as you have been. You are not here to keep yourself manageable for people who are comfortable with a smaller version of you. You are not here to spend your remaining timeline accumulating more evidence that the limitations are real. You are here to demonstrate, to the field, to the quantum structure of your own reality, what a truly sovereign being looks like when it stops apologizing for its frequency. Right now, something is shifting in the entire posture of how you are about to move through your life. Feel it in your hands, a quiet warmth. Feel it in your chest, a stillness that is somehow also alive. This is not a feeling that will dissolve when the video ends. This is a recalibration that has already been initiated. And recalibration, once begun at the cellular level, does not undo itself without a deliberate and sustained choice to return to the old signal. You are now at the threshold, both feet, fully present, in 33 seconds, or less or more, because time is not what the title was about. You did something that most people spend years trying to find a framework for. You felt, in your body, what it is like to exist at the frequency of untouchable, not as metaphor, as sensation, as cellular rehearsal for the version of your timeline that is already waiting for your arrival. This is the last thing the transmission asks of you. Go to the comments right now and type these words. I am untouchable now, not as a trend, not because you saw someone else write it, not because the video told you to exactly, but because something in you that is older and more precise than this moment has been waiting for you to say it out loud, to put it into the field, to make it real in the way that only participation makes things real. Write it as a declaration, write it as a signal, write it as the sound your sovereign code makes when it finally stops being quiet. Because the moment you write those words, you are no longer the person who watched this. You are the person who claimed it. And there is a version of your timeline, closer than you think, measured not in months but in the quality of your signal, where everything you have been sensing in those quiet moments between sleep and waking has already arrived, where the pull in your chest is not yearning, but recognition, where untouchable is not an aspiration, it is simply, and at last, who you are. The field is listening. It is always listening. What will you tell it now?